Before we discuss grand concepts, profound logic, and interesting phenomena, I would like to talk about the 5 fundamental logics that are particularly important in the business world. I want to start from the source of all business models, which we call traffic. I have a relative who has been in the wholesale and retail shoe business for over 30 years. Due to the impact of e-commerce, his business has been declining in recent years. One day, he came to me and asked if he should open an online store. So the question is, if you were me, what advice would you give him? This question made me particularly difficult because it's hard to tell someone who has been in retail for over 30 years that he doesn't really understand what retail is. Which is better? It must have a standard of judgment, so what is that standard? Concept: traffic cost. The basic logic of retail is traffic cost. Traffic cost refers to the basic price we pay to acquire a customer. If we compare your sales process to a riverbed, then traffic is the source of water that flows into the riverbed from different channels. No matter how scientifically and perfectly designed your riverbed is, without a source of water, all business models are just decorations. Case study: for example, if you are a knife sharpener and you spend the whole day walking around the streets, you may encounter 10 people who stop you. If you were to work as a courier, you could earn 500 yuan a day, which means you would be giving up an opportunity cost of 500 yuan. We take this cost and divide it by the potential number of customers you can meet in a day, which is 10 people, and we get a traffic cost of 50 yuan per potential customer. If you were to open a shoe store, how would you calculate the traffic cost? You would take the monthly rent, say 100,000 yuan, and divide it by the estimated number of people who may visit the store in a month, say 5,000 people, and you would get a traffic cost of 20 yuan per potential customer. This is where it gets interesting. We have found a fundamental business logic that can unify the two business models of walking around the streets and welcoming customers in a store. Can this fundamental logic also be applied to e-commerce? When I searched for a pair of leather shoes online, in the early days, there were more and more people buying things online, but the sellers did not believe that e-commerce was a reliable business model. So when you search for a certain brand of leather shoes, you may get 4 or 5 results because these potential customers are obtained through search, so the cost of obtaining this traffic is almost zero. But when these sellers actually make money, there will be many friends like my relative who will also open a store online. Today, when you search for a certain brand of leather shoes, you may have to flip through 30 or 50 pages. If you are a new store with no traffic or credibility, you may be ranked after 30 or 50 pages and almost no business will come your way. What can you do to get business? You have to spend money to buy the advertising space for the bidding ranking. If one person buys the ad and still makes money, then someone else will offer a higher price, and eventually it will go up to the cost price of the product plus the advertising cost, which is almost equal to the retail price. At this point, online advertising will become the main traffic cost, which will eventually approach the cost of obtaining a potential customer offline, which is almost the same. A journalist from Economic Reference News conducted a survey and found that there are over 6 million merchants on a certain e-commerce platform today, but less than 300,000 of them are actually making money, accounting for only 5%. When I was writing the book, Trend Dividend, a senior e-commerce expert told me that the 5% only means not losing money, and the actual profit-making percentage may be only 2%. So, going back to the question of my relative, should he open an online store? Or is e-commerce a more advanced business model? Application: how to obtain low-cost traffic. In this era of constantly changing ways of interacting with users, traffic sources are no longer just about opening a store, nor is it as easy as moving an offline store online. You have many ways, for example, social groups, self-media e-commerce, sales through live streaming, obtaining more new customers through word of mouth, generating repeat purchases through interaction with old customers, and opening stores in low-rent areas in 3,456 tier cities. How to choose. Using the logic of traffic to unify all retail methods, and understanding the traffic cost of each traffic source, will be the basic skill of all enterprises. Summary: optimal choice. What is traffic? It is the number of potential customers entering your sales funnel. What is traffic cost? It is the average price of obtaining a potential customer in each channel. What is an advanced retail business model? It is finding the cheapest way to take water from the river of traffic after doing a lot of calculations.